thanks for watching Dunsmore Moving Dirt. Letting my dozer warm up this morning, and hope the sun's not in your eyes or nothing. But I thought I'd help do a little introduction on the next video, or the video you're fixing to watch. If you're seeing this, you're watching that video. On the last one that I'd put out, I just finished the duck dam and put some concrete culverts in an irrigation ditch, and so the water would get down to the duck dam when they turned the valve on. And then right at the end of the video, we went down there and I kind of showed you what it looked like finished and explained where the water was going to go and everything. So the title of the video that you're watching is the phone call you don't ever want to get after you've built the dam. And this is about a month later. The landowner calls me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I told him where I was working and everything." He said, "I need you to come out here." I said, "Well, what's wrong?" He said, "Water's going over the duck dam." And of course my jaw just dropped, and I said, "What's wrong?" You know, I mean, everything checked out fine, and I knew he was going to fill it up. So like I say, this was probably about a month after I left, and he was going to start filling it up probably within a week. So anyway, after talking to him a little bit, and I told him, he said, "I'm afraid I'm going to lose it, you know." And I go, "Well," I said, "I'm on a job and I'll finish up and I can come first thing in the morning." He said, "Okay." So then I quizzed him a little bit, and I said, "Well, how is it going over the dam?" I said, "It was 5 foot of freeboard, and spillway big enough to handle the water." And he said, "Oh no, the one you're doing works fine." He said, "It's one we built just 100 yards from it." So I had a sigh of relief then, but there, all I could imagine was this thing being washed out, you know, and how I was going to fix it back and everything. So it is not the dam that I built, but it is one. When we looked at building, we looked at two to build when I did the job, and he showed me the one that he wound up building by himself with a couple farm tractors. They shoved up some dirt. It was a big slough, and it would have took a little bit bigger dam than the one I built just 100 yards from it. But anyway, and he told me to build the one that I built, and he said, "We'll get that other one later." He said, "I want to see how this one you built works." So that's the story behind this video. It wasn't the dam that I had built. I thought it was until he finally told me. So I'm going out there on this video, and I'm driving by the one that I did build that is still working properly, and it is plumb full of water. Water's running through the spillway, and when it leaves the one I just built, it goes into the one they built. And then I get up there and I see what they did, and I mean, they've got water backed up for 1/4 of a mile, and they just backed up and shoved dirt and got it peaked up, you know, no crown, no slope, nothing, you know. And it's already been over it and run behind it, and I've got to get back there behind it, running in this much water, 6 inches of water, and scraping dirt and trying to just bucket up just enough where it's just about ready to go around the spillway. But the spillway's a 1/2 mile from the dam that they built, and it's got to run, and it's probably, so, you know, they didn't check nothing out, no elevations or nothing. They just thought they had it up high enough, and they didn't have it up high enough because it started going over it. Anyway, that's what this video is about. I'm showing the one that I built, full of water and everything, working perfectly, and then the one that they built. And I mean, I'm going out there, and I was fixing to go to another job, and I just had brought my dozer into the shop, and I cleaned it up. And man, I mean, when I get through, this thing is covered in mud because I'm splashing around in 1/2 foot of water trying to get dirt and push up on that. But I get it where it does not go over the dam. Then I talked to him here probably another month ago from right now, and he said it tried to go around one end again, so he had to put some more dirt right where it tied into this bank. So I told him, I said, "Well, whenever we do it right, we'll get it up high enough and put a crown." I mean, it don't have a crown or nothing. It's just like he backed up and just pushed dirt up in a windrow. So, but when he drains it this spring or something, I'm gonna let it dry, then I can go back there and fix it up right. Okay, got interrupted by the phone. You know how that is. Okay, anyway, that's what I thought. Just kind of introduce that video that you're fixing to watch here. And I think at the end of it, I talked on the last video about a dam that I'd built several years back. Pretty good sized dam, had a big pipe in it and everything. And I looked the other day, I was gonna put it on the last one, but I had them pictures scattered, so I'm gonna put that on there, I believe, and let you see a big dam. And I got pictures of it was full, because that's right when I started doing my YouTube channel. I went out there one day and recorded it and full of water and everything, kind of showed it full, but I've got the pictures and stuff to show when we was building it and everything. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching this channel. Talk to y'all later. I know it's dusty, but this is the duck pond that I built just here on a month ago maybe. It is full. Everything is working perfectly. I'll get a little bit better picture when I stop. I've got a mess to fix up here. Okay, here's what happens when you don't have someone that knows what to do. We talked about when I built the one right beside here, about building one over here, and the landowner said do the one I did first. Well, they liked the way it looked. They was going to try to do one on this side themselves. And they pushed the dirt up and didn't see how much higher the height they needed to be before it run around the spillway. They thought they had enough dirt up there, and they didn't. Which they did in fact. It looks like they just pushed dirt up there at the tractor. And he had to eat a little humble pie when he called me and said, get out here, I have trouble. So I'm out here. I'm gonna see if I can't temporarily get this to the end of duck season. Then he said, you'll be back in here building a new one the right way. So it's got water running in it right now. It run over last night, and I'm going to try to, I can't touch the dirt or it'll just bust. I've got to push some of this back and get some dry dirt and try to build something back behind it just enough where it won't leak. So I'll let you see some of that in a little bit. Bye. Well, I'm trying to get to the spots where it needs it the worst. Got to watch, if it ever busts through here, I'm in trouble. I think I can go right here and work my way back to the middle. This dozer was clean when I left the shop, but it's going to be brown when I get through. Running through this corner. What I'm doing is just a temporary fix. They're going to drain this winter, and then next spring I'll come back and build a dam like I did on the other side of the hill. Well, this is just, it's a mess now. I can't get too close or I'll bust it out of there and he won't have nothing. I can't stop it once it busts through there. I get this pushed up in there as far as I want, I'm going to come back and start putting drier dirt up against the back side of it, something I can kind of get packed down. I mean, that's all I can do. I can't get on top of that where I'm shoving it up into that, next to that water. It's going to be hard to get on it until I get some drier dirt, but there's no dry dirt. It's got water standing on it. So that's the only way it's going to hold, is to get a layer of dry dirt in behind that and kind of get it walked in. Don't know the elevation or nothing. I didn't bring the level up. I was hoping it was already running around the spillway, then we would know a little bit more, but I don't know what they was going to do. Probably see if it was going to run over the dam, then if it didn't, then they had to hide it. try to get a little better dirt. Going to be very pretty, but we're not after pretty right now. We're just wanting to keep it from busting through there. I can make it pretty next year. I'd have made it pretty this year if they would have called me. I know, that don't look good, does it? Like I say, I had it cleaned up before I loaded it, and I wouldn't have cleaned it up if I knew I was going to do what I did, but this was kind of an emergency deal, so I just loaded up and brought it up here. But I did have her nice and clean, but I guess it'll wear off. I'm going to clean the tracks out before I put it on the truck. They won't be too proud if I get stopped with all that mud hanging off of it. So anyway, that's what it took to fix this. It's not pretty. I wasn't here for pretty. I was here to keep it from going over it. And they'll drain it this winter, and then next spring, I just talked to the landowner and I told him I think I can use this. If they don't care if there's a hole in the front, I can dig a hole in the front and level this off enough where I can get everything packed in and put another dam from the front side, or I can dig a hole and have the dam from the back side. So they would have a hole of water all the time if I dug a hole there until it dried up. But they got 6-7 months to figure that out, how they want to do it. I don't think they will call me back this time to fix it. They thought they could do it and save a little expense. Well, they did save a little bit, but I had to come over here and keep it from washing out, and then I still got to come back and fix it right. So it likes about a foot going around the spillway, which is up there about 1/4 mile. So they done got people wanting to come out here and duck hunt, and that's just right for duck hunting. And this one over here looks good. It's running around the spillway. There's a pipe in it in case they want to drain it down and get it off their cropland. But we'll walk over in a minute and look at it from the dam side. That looks good. That did exactly what I told them it was going to do. The water line is just right where I told them it was going to be, and it goes up there and it just finally stops right around that corner. That looks good. That made a nice hole, and like they still got plenty of, you know, you always got, even though you know what the elevation of the spillway is, you got to stand a rain too that comes down through here. What's coming down here now is just irrigation water. They can shut that off, but you can't shut a rain off when it starts coming down through here. And the same thing on this thing. There's a lot of water comes in. That ditch is behind this one that comes into this and drains, I don't know how many hundreds of acres up here of wheatland is what drains into this one. Plus I think off of the road. So you got to figure that in to your dam height and everything. It needs to be so many feet above that spillway, but it also needs to be able to handle something as it's going out the spillway. So because it's going to stack up against this dam instead of spreading out like it used to. So anyway, that little project's done. He glad we got it stopped because it had already gone over it last night. But we'll look at this from the dam here in a minute when I get my tracks cleaned out. So I don't care if it falls out on the job. I don't want it falling out going down the road. So we'll let y'all see some of that after a bit. Bye. Yes sir, they've got a bunch of seed thrown out. Looks like it's oats. If it comes a little shy of them dudes, it'll germinate pretty good. Okay, they hadn't got their valve on yet, but they've got a plate here, and that's what's seeping a little bit. That plate, that's not going to hurt nothing. Nothing's seeping through the dam. You can see all the way through here, everything's dry behind the dam. The only thing seeping is this little old plate here where they put on, but it's running around the spillway. This is coming just exactly where I wanted it to run. So far so good. You can see the water running over there. Now this is being filled up with irrigation ditch water. It's coming out of where when you watch the video, you'll see me cutting the ditch bank down and putting some culverts in. That's where it comes out. I built this little kicker here so the water wouldn't turn and come right behind the dam. You don't ever want your water to run right behind the dam, so this kicks it over here where it's flatter, and it's not going to wash nothing because it's getting on that grass right there. So you can see some of them oats they scattered out are already coming up. Going through there on that grass, nice smooth spot for it to run. So see, if it was to come through here, this is just kind of backing up in here, but most of it's running over there. It would have washed a little wash down going toward that pipe. So that is working exactly the way I had it planned. Got a little stuff coming up out of the bottom. That's what I guess you want when you're hunting ducks. So anyway, that's the wind's blowing, so it's probably not sounding too good on the deal. But this, I mean, I'm very well pleased with that. Got enough freeboard. I think it's got 4 foot of freeboard. 4 foot of freeboard. It's running around the spillway, so that'll handle any big rain that they get. And then what they'll do sometime, probably if they plant something out in the, see, you can see that's quite a bit of field that's got covered up there, which I had some markers where it was doing. It's just about where I thought it was going to go, but they can drain, they can put a valve or just take that plate off, and it'll drain a foot or two off of this lake, and that'll get it back down. I can't remember how much it's supposed to, but I took a shot up there at the edge of the grass, and if they drain the water out, it won't be standing in their field. It'll just be in the pasture here. So then they can plant something in their field and get part of a crop off of it, or leave it for the ducks to eat, then flood it again next spring, because they shut the irrigation ditch water off during the winter time. No water runs through the irrigation channel, so they'll keep it plumb full till that shuts down, because that'll be all the water unless we have a wet winter, which we ain't had much wet of nothing here lately. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching this channel, and hadn't subscribed, wish you'd do that and hit the like button, share it with all your friends. Not very often do I get to come back while one's full after I dig it and let y'all see it. So, but this will be on the video. This will be on the video when I show the video of me building this one. I'm still a little ways from getting that put out, but you'll get to be able to see on the same video the before and the after. So that always works out good when they turn out like that. So got it loaded up, got enough knocked off the tracks where maybe they won't say nothing. They see me going down the road. If they do, I'll let them reach up here and try to pull some off, because that stuff is sticky. It won't even come off of a shovel when you try to get it. So anyway, we're heading west of here about 35 miles, so we'll make a video of that job and kind of show you what's going on when we get out there. Thanks for watching. Bye. How are y'all doing today? I was out looking at some stuff this morning, and I thought I would just come over here and check on a job that we had done back in June. We built a dam and put a pipe spillway in the middle of the dam, and I got word here a couple weeks ago that it had been full and run through the pipe, so I just thought I'd come out here and let y'all see what it looks like since it's full of water. It's nice when you're building something to be able to come back and look at it after you're through and see how well it looks. So I'm going to let y'all take a look at that from up on top of the dam. We're up on top of the dam looking back toward where the water comes in, and you'll see a little looks like a circle of dirt out in the probably in the middle of the tank or the pond, and that is a tank dam from the tank that is above it. It put water over the top of it, or it looks like most of it, and then back there used to be a road up between them two tanks. Up there's a cow standing, and put all that water plumb to the back of the other one. Them were really two shallow tanks that went dry quite often in the summertime. So the man tried to drill a well, and there wasn't no water to be found. Last winter we cleared the brush and raked it in piles, and he planted some grass on this place. So then he was going to look at his water situation and see if he couldn't do something that would give him plenty of water. So since he couldn't drill a well and no water underground, decided to build a tank dam and put a pipe spillway in the middle of it. And that's this thing right here. When the tank gets full, it runs down this pipe through the middle of the dam, and then it comes out at the back of the dam level with the creek below it, and it has an emergency spillway on the far end in case something ever happens and this pipe gets obstructed with tree limbs or stuff. You can see it's just down probably 2 inches below the top of the pipe. I believe this pipe's 5.5 foot around, and then it goes down to the bottom there, and as you can see, it has concrete in the bottom of it that shoots it through the horizontal pipe that runs through the center of the dam. The reason I had to put that in is because there was no good place to spill this thing without causing a wash. The tank up above this one, the first one you see that just part of the dam is showing, there was a gully all the way up to where it spills, where them cattle are standing, and it was probably 5 foot deep. So it was just a matter of time that tank would have been 5 foot lower of water because the spillway was going to wash out on it. And what causes that is when you look behind this one, there's a pretty good sized gully below this one, and when you look over there toward them trees, there's a creek that comes through there that's 20 foot deep. And what's happened over the years is the water that come down this gully went to falling off into that creek, and it went to eating back up this way, and that's what caused the gully plumb up to the tank that we was looking at. So that's why they put this pipe down level with the bottom of the creek, so there's really no farther any more washing going to take place. But if it ever does, you can extend your pipe. But that's why you put a pipe spillway, because there's no place for the water to go without falling off into a ditch. And whenever that happens, it eats its way back up the hill to the next structure, and thus lowering the water level. So this thing, I've got some pictures or maybe some videos of when we built this. I got my neighbor to help me with this. He has a Dozer and a track hoe. So he lives just right down the road from where I live. Carlton Lear, he helped me put this thing in, and we worked on it this summer and built it then. And on this end of the dam is the emergency spillway. Like I say, you don't want it ever to run around this, but this is to preserve your dam, so if the pipe does get stopped up, it runs around this instead of going over the dam. So like I say, chances are it should never run around this, because that pipe will handle all the water that goes through it unless it gets stopped up some way or another. So he planted some grass on it. It'll be up probably this spring, and we had to build this little kicker here to keep the water from doubling back and coming behind the dam. If it did spill, it would run out across that grass where them brush piles are. So this is just one project that we did to help the man where he'd have enough water for his cows. This thing will be all the water, and I think he's going to split this pasture up, and he can pipe water from here over to where his other pasture is and still have plenty of water. So I hope y'all enjoyed seeing this, and like I say, if I can I'll send some pictures with this video of what it was like while we was building it. I'm trying to remember, it was 20 something foot deep here in the hole. The main part of the hole is out here in the middle, and like I say, the rest of it's just water that's backed up due to the elevation of the pipe. But that's one thing that we do quite a bit of. We build tank dams. We don't put pipes in very many of them because there's usually a natural spillway that you can have, but that's one option that you can, when there's no place for it to spill safely, is you put a pipe in the dam. So it's like I say, this is the first time I've been back since June after we built it, but I like the way it looks, and it looks pretty well like I thought it was going to look. So hope y'all enjoyed this video, and you can let us know any comments or anything that you got or questions on it. And so we'll see you next go around. Y'all be safe out there.